All right, welcome to the Songcast.com presentation on Breaky CPK. Joining me is Toby Wankanobi, Community Shoutcaster, and this is Game 2 here in this Best Out of 3 series here in the DYA Invitational. $20,000 prize pool on the line. The winner of the series at least guarantees themselves $4,000 and a chance at the $10,000 first place prize. Right now, Ice is up 1-0, but Game 1 was anyone's game.
It was. It really was. Like you saw the Malaysians, they had so strong. That sand wraith, let's see if he gets into this game.
Yeah.
But it was just so long. 65 minutes they played for. It went back and forth the entire time. The kill count was always in favour of Ice, apart from maybe a couple of minutes. But as far as the balance of the game went, it was always open. It was all about the timing. It's all about the initiations. We're going to see how they go here in Game 2. There's obviously a lot more pressure on the Malaysians. They're one down. They have to win this if they want to go to their third. So it's going to be on them if they go safe, if they even go more adventurous. Back yourselves. Be aggressive. Bring them down. It's not like it was in the group stages. You're not pushed to get kills per minute.
Yeah.
But this one, the win is what counts. They need the win. If not, they're out.
Yeah, there's no ties here. You are playing to win it, of course, and honestly, after seeing Game 1, I would expect a Game 3. As you did mention, we do see Dr. Repulsor actually being banned right there as a final ban. However, he was banned by Ice. They did use him last time, but they did not have the first pick, so obviously they do not want to allow XTU to pick him up right here. So the picking stage has started with those 6 bans being out of the way. But real quickly, again, the really big story here is the fact that Ice, they came here with only 4 players.
Yep.
Josh, unfortunately, was not able to make it due to health concerns. Yep. But they were able to pick up a ring here. The admins allowed them to do so.
Yeah, Purified.
Purified, and he, as we saw last game, he played that Dr. Repulsor. Once again, a very impressive player. So he's been doing some great things for them. I think they're happy with who they got.
Yeah, I think they're very, very happy with who they've got. He's gelled so well. Just so well. Like, it takes a long time for teams to build up a rapport with each other to know when they're actually going to initiate. There was a couple of times when you realise that, like that engagement on our last game when they hit the Tier 2 tower of the Legion side, he jumped down a little bit lower while the battle was still going above it. He wasn't quite sure about it, and it was just, I think that's the only flaw we've seen so far. And in the end, it didn't really matter because he got himself farmed up, he got himself further into it, and he's just played very, very well for them. The team supported him well, he supported the team well, and he's a good substitute for them. We have actually gone through all the bans as well by the looks of it. So Chipper, Soul Stealer, Dr. Repulsor, as we mentioned before, has been removed. Electrician has been taken out as well. We saw him played a hell of a lot yesterday, Breaky.
Yeah, of course, Bryce down here, also known as the first name Ramza. He's an awesome electrician player. He showed that once again yesterday in the game that we actually casted here on the show match. He ran it several times, and in both those games that he ran it, they went 2-0, so kind of gives you an idea. And then, in fact, EG even banned them when they played Ice, and their matchup, a smart play right there, by the way. So, but yeah, on top of that, I do want to make a correction. I did say Dr. Repulsor was the last ban, but Farrell was actually the last ban. So, Legion team, they actually had the first pick, but they chose to go with a ban on Dr. Repulsor, not wanting to have it in this game, does not fit in, and instead they go with the first pick on Thunderbringer. So, a little bit interesting change up there. But, of course, we're talking about the bans Electrician, Pharaoh, and it looks like they also banned Chipper over there on the Hellborn side. So very aggressive heroes, excellent style heroes, and they do not want to have to deal with those. So we got some picks going out of the way here. XTU.
This is their style.
It is. We talked about this earlier. Defy, a very popular pickup here in the Southeast Asian section. Not so much in the other scenes, but over here it is, and picked up with the second pick to go with Tundra.
Tundra is like the epitome of their style. It's just the perfect thing. It's the perfect use with Defile. Defile will push your lanes. Tundra's going to be there getting that vision. Obviously, with you're going to have to fill me in for the spell, but able to actually create the crow, create the little beast. Thrown to Breaky.
His minions.
Minions. Let's go. All right, we'll just go with minions.
The Shiver is I don't really
actually,
know.
it's right in front of me. The Call of Winter. The Call of Winter. I should just look at my screen. That's always a good thing.
Look right there.
Yeah. But the Call of Winter, to actually able to get that slow, keep that harassment on, and even then, if you can see an awesome player, he'll last hit with that little pet.
Yeah.
It is so awesome to watch when you see that kind of stuff happening. But of course, Tundra is just one of those great pushes as well, through obviously the shards that can fly out there. And when the avalanche kicks through, if he gets that in a big row, that's a lot of trouble it's going to be spelling for Ice, and that's rather amusing that Tundra's actually been the one causing them that trouble.
Yeah, they got movement potential already with those first couple of pickups, so it's going to be interesting to see how they follow it up now with their next two coming out here. But you look over on Ice's side with their next two pickups, Forsaken Archer and Behemoth. Very safe lineup. It does have the makings of a tri-lane possibly. Forsaken Archer, Behemoth, and then another, of course, support player, babysitter. But Behemoth is a very popular hero, especially in the American scene. A lot of these teams love to use him him. We've seen that already throughout this tournament, and no doubt, of course, Ice is going to be using him here once again. We can't guarantee a tri-lane, but you would expect it, especially with where the meta game is at right now. But we'll have to wait and see, of course, what the last couple of pickups are. Bubbles followed up with XTU over there, a very entertaining hero, and it continues the very active play. And then Voodoo Jester, very solid babysit support player. So you're really nothing out of the ordinary other than Defiler, but again, we already went over that. Popular in this region.
Yeah, great to push. But Bubbles, for me, I think is going to be the big one to watch for the initiation. Like, you look through the lineup at the moment, like Jester, sure, you're going to have the stun that's going to come out from him. But Bubbles, for me, for the ability to actually to shell surf it in there and basically lock them in place with your ulti, the second Bubbles hits level 6, look for the ganks, look for the big ganks too. You don't want to just catch one person out with a Bubbles ulti. You want to focus fire them, you want to get on top of it, and that's exactly what they can do, because you couple Bubbles with Voodoo Jester.
How about this? Ice picking up Sandwraith.
So XTU is like, our Sandwraith's unstoppable. Let's see if Ice can do it.
Interesting.
I don't know. Sandwraith in the last game had a lot of farm, and he went very, very unchecked. XTU, they have a lineup which can easily gank, and their last pickup can easily do the same thing. They've got to really shut him down, and if they do it, Ice is in trouble. If Sandwraith becomes useless, if Sandwraith doesn't become a powerhouse, I'm really worried for them. They have Forsaken Archer to fall back on. Thundering, of course, will do the DPS, Behemoth will be their support. Slither, he's a bit of a fallback kind of guy as well, depending on how much damage he can do, but he's more about to push and throw down those Plague Wards and really keep the lane control going. Sandwraith, if they lose him, if he gets shut down, this is going to be troublesome. Like, Defiler to push it, they're going to take down the towers. Tundra as well. Bubbles will be right on top of it. I'm interested to actually know they're going to go support. Andromeda's coming up with Voodoo Jester as well. That's a gank. That is just so...
they have gank creep all over them. But my curious question now is, how are their lanes going to be set up? Because, again, they have 3 very powerful solo heroes. Defiler, she needs to be solo. I cannot see her part of a tri lane whatsoever. So then it comes down to...
She'll be top. She'll be top. Solo top.
Bubbles is the same thing. He needs levels. So it pretty much comes down to Tundra in that case. You know, he could look to farm a fast puzzle box, a fast portal key as being part of the tri lane, but... honestly, I would not be surprised if we see a 2-on-2 setup or just a 1-1-1 with a lot of roamers. Maybe even something like a jungling Tundra. Tundra has been known to jungle every now and then. So the lanes for XTU over here, I'm really curious to see how they go about it. Now on Ice's side, the standout thing to me, as you mentioned, the Sandwraith pick, a little bit interesting there, because when you see a hero like Sandwraith, that a really true hard carry that requires a lot of farm, you don't usually see another hero that considered a carry as well, such as a Forsaken Archer. You usually see a hero that's very aggressive ganker, such as a Pebbles, a Wretched Hag, a Bubble, something like that. But in this case, they go with the Forsaken Archer. So really curious to see how that works out for them, and whether or not the spread farm is going to be enough for them to be effective. I definitely expect this Forsaken Archer to play fairly aggressive early on, because you really need to play aggressive to really keep that Sandwraith available to farm.
Have we also noticed that we have got to pause here for just a second, guys. I'm guessing Purify's actually got something wrong with his mouse again.
Somebody does.
Something's going wrong. He asked for it anyway. But he's actually still playing carry. Like it seems to be the lineup that Ice is wanting to go for. They're playing the 2 carries. They throw Ramsar up there with the Sandwraith and Purify there on Forsaken Archer. The other way it's gone around, we saw like Electrician, Dr. Repulsor. Last game was Electrician and... not Electrician, it was Repulsor and... I can't even remember the last game. It's just like such a blur now. Oh my god.
I know we're talking... I'm confused.
I'm losing my brain. Yeah, but we'll go with that. Meanwhile, back at the ranch. Yeah, but it's just the way they like that. It just seems like they like to keep those 2 guys. They're the strong guys, and everyone else just basically moves around, support them wherever you possibly can, and just get them farmed up, make them the powerhouse, and then everyone else gets the farm. It's a big thing. You get them the early game advantage, and then everyone else has got to try and keep up and stay with them as close as they possibly can. And I like it. I like it a lot. It makes sure every single player in the Ice team is actually doing their part.
I love both of these teams. Don't really have an overwhelming problem, of course. XU's especially. This is going to be interesting, their laning phase. As I'm sure Ice is, kind of thinking the same thing. How exactly are they going to go about it? We definitely gave you out the scenarios, and honestly, I really don't know what we're going to see, especially since we're not so used to seeing Defiler. You expected to see Defiler solo top. We will see Purify is playing Forsaken Archer. here in this game on the Legion team, as we mentioned earlier. So he's the ringer for this Ice Gaming team here in the semifinals. By the way, again, this is Ice Gaming is up 1-0. If you just happen to be tuning in here in this best of 3,
Yep.
here in the semifinals, the winner of this will take on the winner of EG versus Impunity,
which is being
They're
played
playing
right now.
It's tied at 1 a game apiece. I know
that's right. Singapore took the first
the
one.
Han fan is the Han community. They're all shocked. The fact that Southeast Asian team even got 1 game off EG. Honestly,
EG did actually say that it was through the draft. They said they just got done on the draft, and it just went all downhill from there, and they took out the second one pretty convincingly by the sounds of it. But we are going to get ourselves into this one. The Heroes will move themselves out into the lanes. It's 53 seconds before the creep wave will actually spawn back out again, as Arch is just being cool. just show that glitch animation.
I always like to see the cancel animation like that. A lot of players like to flaunt their ability. We have seen occasionally, though, it accidentally goes off, and they're like, oops.
I didn't mean to do that.
Maybe I was showing off a little bit too much. But it happens.
That's right. You're only being broadcast to thousands of people around the world and live here in Singapore. No pressure.
Yeah, really.
No pressure at all.
We're not on a big stage or anything.
Yeah.
Anyways, again, I want to reiterate, we are in a LAN environment. They can hear us, be wary of that. That's where we're kind of staying away from labeling where people are going, because since they can hear us, that would be given away. So you got to keep that in mind when listening as well, that they can hear us. So it may not be the normal cast that you're used to hearing here on Honcast. But
I'm just going to look at this cute guy. He's just so awesome.
Good old Kongor.
That's
yes,
right.
Kongor is still up.
He's in Halloween mode. He doesn't normally look like that. He's just in Halloween mode.
That he is.
Yeah, he's really cool.
With that said as well, this again, Garena Han is actually 3 patches ahead, or 3 patches behind, excuse me. They're still in patch 1.0.17, which the teams are playing on. So that's another thing to keep in mind when watching this event here. The lanes are coming. They're making their presence now. So we see Sandwraith and Slither actually in the middle lane, currently going up against a solo Tundra. Meanwhile, at the bottom lane, actually, Haystreet Voodoo Disc are coming in. That's a Coxo coming out, hitting Slither right there. The bounce going off, perfect bounce, but no follow-up Andromeda stop. Tundra decided not to go in. He didn't even use his piercing shards right there. A little bit questionable. I guess it was still on cooldown from earlier, but they had the chance, chose not to take it. But a good reaction, though, from Ice, making sure they fell back right away. But this lane setup, as expected, very interesting. Bubbles right now going 1v1 against Forsaken Archer, and we see Defy the solo top, like you mentioned, going up against Thunderbringer. So perhaps we're going to see a roaming Voodoo Disc or Andromeda. Maybe they're going to set now that they attempted the Bloodlust kill. Who knows? But we'll see how it progresses throughout the game.
Yeah, because I was really expecting Bubbles to go solo bottom and to actually see what we've seen with that roam from the Voodoo Jester. Just, you want to go out there, Slither. Oh, he's thinking about it. He was really thinking about it. That spray was just coming up behind him, and Jester, the reflex is just so fast here. But I was really expecting Bubbles to be on the bottom lane, trying to have a go here. He is, and it's a good one to do it, though, because if he shells up, he can just jump himself back out there. If something goes wrong, and you're seeing the attacks coming in from the trees, they know support is there, because Behemoth is down the bottom lane, so it is a duel versus a duel lane, just like the middle, just like Slither and Tundra, as well as Sandwraith and Voodoo Jester, all going up one apiece, going up against each other. There goes the Fidger, Bubbles, just getting niggled on the side. It's okay, though. He still has the health potions. But also interesting to see him straight up with the mana battery. He already knew there was going to be spells like being spammed on that bottom lane, especially when the Fissures come through from Behemoth. He just wants those charges.
Oh, yeah. Between the Crippling Folly and the Fissure, they're going to constantly just harass that, especially as we've seen in the past as well, throughout this tournament even. Blood Chalice, very popular item pickup on a lot of heroes, of course, and more so, especially on a hero like Behemoth, who loves to be able to spam that Fissure ability and cause a lot of issues there. So we are seeing that now a 2vs2 setup down here, as well as a 2vs2 in the middle. So interesting lane setups ended up being from both teams. A Sandwraith going middle, obviously, but he has a babysit in Slither right there, so it seems to be working out somewhat, but at the same time, a Voodoo Jester support for this Tundra, really back and forth right there, so it's going to be difficult for them, no doubt, and it's going to be entertaining to see how that plays, because as we said from the very beginning, Sandwraith has always a very big factor. The Crippling Volley landing on Andromeda, not going to follow it up, though a little bit of fade to black right there, as well as just not enough damage going to be able to come out, so at least they scared him off a little bit, and again, you talked about spamming the abilities, not afraid to use them.
Yeah, they're just going to love that upper beat, but what I really want to see is here goes Sandwraith Sandwraith onto the mid. They want to go for the Jester, but Tundra's right in the middle. He's hitting on Slither. Sandwraith is still having a go. Slither's going to die. First blood in the middle. They might fall out with Voodoo Jester. Sandwraith does actually claim it. Tundra's going to have a great old time. He even still has the regen rune sitting inside his bottle, so he can fire off everything he possibly wants. There you go, the shards again. He wants to harass Sandwraith down as he goes up north.
Oh, misclick right there from Tundra. He used his regen rune, was still a poison spray on him, and as a result, it went off right away. That's really unfortunate. It's kind of a wasted rune right there, obviously, but at least he does have the full bottle charges and will be able to use it. But I want to make a comment about that fight as well. Voodoo Jester, it was one of those, he knew he was going to die, but he wanted to get the Bloodlust kill, and that he made happen for his team, so well played by him right there. Good job, and well, as we expected, ended up dying, so it ended up being a 1-for-1, but like I said, the Bloodlust kill went in favor of the Hellborn team, with actually a Tundra getting the kill, who they wanted to get the kill, so it definitely worked out for them in the end. So now 4 minutes into the game, that has only been our couple of kills right there, so a little bit slow-paced early on, but we are seeing some interesting lanes, at least a little bit different vibe than the whole tri-lane strategy. He's locked down on the Sandwraith in the middle lane right here. There goes the Curse, though, going to get out of there. Going to be fine, but took a lot of damage. All he has is a couple of tangles to eat up and get some regen going on. So right now, the aggressive play between Voodoo Jester and Tundra really working. And another thing to note as well, Slither, his poison spray was nerfed, recently, in the sense that you have to level it up now to get the increased range, and we kind of saw that already in this game. Yeah. It hurts him at being a babysit hero as a result, because if he's not able to initiate with that so effectively, like we've seen, he misses it. It's unfortunate. So at the very least, maybe you expect him to go maxing out wards, but we'll see how this Slither decides to build up.
Yeah, it's always interesting. Like the ward build is dangerous in itself, because it does actually give a lot of gold to the opposition if they're able to farm up those wards. So it's always a tricky one to try and go. Sometimes you go the pure DPS, sometimes you get yourself a balance of both and just don't use the wards until later on in the game when you know you can get them up to level 4. And that's probably the better way of actually going in this match, I think, because you don't want to give anything. You don't want to give anything to the Ice Boys at this time, so to the Malaysian guys at this time. So XTU, they'll be looking for anything they can get. Bottom lane, we've just seen Behemoth actually go for he's already done the pull and rejoined the lane here, but Bubbles still being caught back out of it at the moment, and Andromeda's got to keep that pull going on the top lane, or else it's Defiler versus Thunderbringer lane. It's getting a little bit more damaging. Thunderbringer actually not up to level 6 yet, so Defiler just staying on top up there. Farm's probably going to be a little bit higher too. Look at the wave just coming through, harassing that Thunderbringer back. Doesn't want him to be anywhere near this XP, anywhere near the last hitting, even though the creep wave is all his left now. But it's just one of those things you've got to keep your eyes open for. That top lane, that Defiler, level 6, can push now. That ulti is there, and when she does, she's really going to damage that tower. Look at her go straight past it. Straight past it. Wave goes down. It could have actually nicked. There goes the ulti as well. It's going to wipe the creep wave, and good positioning is here as well from the lady. Staying down a little bit closer, takes out the creep wave. Her new creep wave is still a little bit behind at the moment. In fact, I think there must have been a pull there, because the creep wave should have been there by now, and the Defiler might not be too happy that actually happened.
That was unfortunate, as you said. Andromeda actually did a creep pull, but that was a complete lack of communication right there, because that's the last thing you want when you're trying to push a tower, of course. So it forced her to fall back, and now the ultimate is going to actually wear off very soon. And so did a little bit of damage, sure, but probably could have taken it out, honestly, if she had the creep wave. So
it's not too bad, though. The cooldown is pretty low on that ultimate. It's like it's just over a minute.
Yeah. She did pressure it, and it did force Thunderbringer to play very defensively. No, he is lacking in levels. I mean, he just at level 6. He is behind. Bubbles is getting away up top, or bottom here, excuse me. Haste rune activated on Slither, as you see. So it looks like they were both going for the rune, and Slither happened to get it just in front of him. Well played. You see Shiver also getting taken out right there from the tower in the middle lane.
Think of the small little birds out there.
Yeah.
Slither, Sandwraith, Voodoo Jester's actually caught it now. Tundraless out for shards. It's all in the back of Jester. They really want Jester as he's going to fall back towards the tower. Lightning comes down. That was the Zeus ulti, but there's not going to be enough. Sandwraith now moving himself down, getting done by the tower. The frozen, the frost actually coming out from Tundra's pet. Can they catch it? One more hit! Come on, more hit! Shards!
The stutter step killed him. I don't know what he was doing. I don't know if he's buying something or a misclick, but the stutter step just spot the range for the pet to slow him down enough, and the piercing shards came out, and Sandwraith goes down. So
that's
a good attempt at an escape, but that is a huge loss right there. They did kill Voodoo Jester, of course, but you do never want to sacrifice a Sandwraith to kill a Voodoo Jester by any means. So great job right there. Smart play though by Tundra, keeping on it, making sure he got that kill. So a really back and forth game right now, as expected. Again, after that game 1, you wouldn't expect anything less. Bubbles might be in trouble. The finish down comes out. Nice take cover the right before. Not going to be blocked out, but the crippling volley comes in, stunning him. More Murado attack.
More.
Yes, down goes Bubbles. kill right there for Forsaken Archer, showing off her range. She didn't even need the 3-second, you know what, from the skeletons, and she's going to fall back by her item, and a good setup kill right there onto Bubbles.
Yeah, that was the good one. But Bubbles did the best he could, like ducking inside that shoulder, trying to stop the stun effect there of the fissure. Could have been better if his shell surfed out, but I don't think there was actually enough mana up her sleeve to actually do so. So got herself all caught out, and that's just literally the way the cookie crumbles. So down back towards the bottom lane, you've got Forsaken Archer having a great old free farm down there. They've really got to look at Forsaken Archer at the moment. Like we've seen Purify. He's been so strong in many other games. As it's just something you've got to be mindful of. You can't allow him to free farm. You cannot allow him to free farm.
Yeah. You can't. I mean, we talked about the last game as well, so.
Yeah.
Obviously, it wasn't for them. So, yeah, it's a really good point right there. Speaking of Defada, by the way, she has her ultimate once again pushed up, so definitely look for her to maybe push in this lane. She does have a creep wave with her. Right now, Slither is actually setting up a little bit of a defense. See him put him on a ward right there. Yeah, it looks like it may be enough to hold her off for now, so. But Defada going to keep playing aggressive, using the Wave of Death right there, going to clean up the creep wave, and will very likely look to activate the ultimate with this next creep wave. So yeah, as long as there's no creep pulling going on. In the meantime, Sandwraith and Bubbles once again going just back and forth at it. Sandwraith is falling back a little bit now though, so losing out a little bit on farm. But here goes the Defada push. Now activating the ultimate, and this tower's going to start dropping fast again. Slither do enough to maybe even deny the tower.
T1's gone.
A careful thing for Defada. Here comes a Portent. Is it in deny range? No, it's not. Down to 170 lives, so still out of deny range. But the chase gets the call Slither right there. Thunderbringer chasing out. Sandwraith also porting in, and down goes Defada. So they make her pay. She didn't even get the tower kill. She got the kill on Slither, but at what cost? Sandwraith got the kill on her. And like I said, the tower is still up, but very close to deny range now.
Yeah, that was very close because during all of that too, they were trying to set up on the bottom with Andromeda and Bubbles. They were waiting for Sandwraith to move just out far enough to get their stun because Sandwraith wasn't on full HP. It was about maybe half HP when they just used his ulti then to jump in towards that battle. But if they managed to actually lock Sandwraith down then when that ulti popped off, unfortunately, there's no casting time. You won't see it come out there. So yeah, it's the timing. The timing could never get it right to actually help their teammate up the top there. But still, Defiler claims one kill. Gets her up a little bit further. She'll TP back up towards the top and continue to put more harassment up on that top lane. Nothing is really going to stop her from pushing like that because she can stick back so easily and just basically harass from range with her ulti, which is on such a low cooldown as well. Like, she's coming back into the lane right now and she's only got 28 seconds left on that cooldown. That is not a long time, and then she can just push it all over again.
Tundra getting a little bit trapped right here. The Fisher Stone is going to block him, it looks like, but he's going to be fine. Have to just harassing him a little bit off the ledge, doing what he can. But we were talking about this earlier again, expecting maybe be a tri lane, but it wasn't needed to be a tri lane. But Tundra did go his portal key actually, so he got a very fast portal key here, and also with his little red booties. So he's going to now roam around and see what he can make happen. Andromeda and Voodoo Jester, but yeah, so we'll see what they can make happen out of that. The Legion team right now, you know, kind of just sitting back at the tower. Sandwraith farming what he can here at the top lane. Remember, he ported up here to kill Defiler, and now he's just been sitting up here ever since. He might as well get some free farm. But in the meantime, Bubbles, as a result, has actually been pushing up this bottom lane a little bit more and getting some of his farm. He's now level 7, actually, and doing quite swell. Again, one of those heroes gets a level advantage. Can start to take over, starting with his ultimate, of course.
You notice the Ice has two players that are not in the lanes at the moment. Like, there's just so many people that are missing right now. Defiler's actually pushing the top lane. It easily claims it. Volley tries to come out for Forsaken Archer to try and get this kill on it. Sandwraith actually goes for the illusions. They want it. They're going to get it too. In fact, it's going to be the ulti of Thunderbringer that actually claims that kill, I think. It's either that, yeah, it was the ulti that did actually pop off. But it's just so many heroes out of the lanes. If they didn't get their kill, they're still going to be behind here at the moment because the bottom lane's being fun up here. Andromeda and Bubbles, they're pushing that tower down as well. So this time around, like last time, you looked at Ice, they had map control. This time around, it's going to the Malaysians.
Oh, well, no doubt. Whenever you have a hero like Defada, that's what you expect. And
yeah.
That's the thing as well. You know, because it's expected, I mean, it's happening, so it's not like Ice by no means needs to be necessarily worried. But at the same time, you do have to, you know, keep in mind that it does kind of suck. And there are disadvantages to it. But again, it's expected with a hero like that. They, at the very least, though, they have been doing a very good job of actually killing her. And as we saw right there once again, that's now 2 deaths for Defiler. So definitely falling behind a little bit in that sense. But at least now 2 tower kills. Again, Bubbles just continues to push this bottom lane. The Legion team seems to kind of ignore this bottom lane for a while now. They lost a tower, and right now Bubbles is just really pushing it, not worried about too much, and just doing his thing. Of course, he's not an easy hero to kill by any means with this take cover and port. but at least a little bit of harassment you would at the very least expect. In the meantime, Defiler pushes the middle lane, so this is what we're talking about. 3 towers down just like that. We're only 12 and a half minutes into the game, and Bubbles once again just freely pushing the bottom lane. Will the Legion team react to it?
I don't know. I do not know. Like, how do you react to Bubbles? There's at least one way of doing it. The chain lightning from range there from Thunderbringer doesn't really know too. You've got to be careful when your tier 1 tower goes down. Then neutral's not a safe place.
Yeah.
The neutrals are definitely not a safe place. They're not just going to push out past the tower. They can know something might be waiting for them. They might actually be just wasting time doing that though. But that's the big thing that goes through your head when you don't actually have that map control or that vision around the map as well through wards.
Again, though, Bubbles is still sitting down here. No harassment whatsoever from the Legion team just yet. At least Thunderbringer finally showing himself. And Thunder using that portal key ultimate combination. Voodoo District outside cocktail also coming out. Well, porting from Bubbles. No, he doesn't port it in actually. And the ultimate from Thunderbringer turn around right there. Tundra and Voodoo District get taken out. Sandwich porting it as well. Andromeda and Bubbles are now on the run. A great turnaround fight here from Ice. That's what they were waiting for. Their perfect opportunity. Andromeda now trying to port out. Half-Life gonna be successful, just dodging the crippling volley. And in the meantime, it looks like Bubbles also got away. Thunderbringer very low in life. In fact, the minion from Tundra doing a little bit of damage, but they finally kill it, and he won't get away. But 2 players get taken out right there for the Hellborn team, and the Legion team did not lose anyone, and they defended the tower. But the Father, in the meantime, did push the middle top tower up a little bit
as well,
and is getting that free farm like you mentioned.
Yeah, that was a good push that was actually coming out from the Malaysians. But you got to that point, it's like we're pushing, and the entire Legion side just said, yeah, we're so there. You're not getting our tier 2 tower. If we lose that, basically our neutrals are yours. They couldn't stand for that one. They all went down there, but to final free farming it out. Still, they lost 2 heroes. It happens. At the end of the day, it was worth the gamble. It's 7-3 still, though, in favour of Ice. But as we said in the last game, kill count means nothing.
Oh, no, it doesn't. Yeah, exactly as you put it. It's saw in the last game, it really doesn't. Ice had a 10-15 hero kill advantage, yet by all means, even later on in the game, XT was definitely in it. Stun here on a Behemoth. Can they follow up with Thunder? Yes, it's the ultimate lockdown. Piercing shards come out. Won't be enough damage, so I don't think so. The pet doing the damage. Not going to be enough, though. They turn around, and Thunder comes in, but Andromeda down to 15 life is going to survive. He's looking to port out, and he's going to live. Wow, what a back and forth right there. No one actually going down. But that interesting decision there by Tundra, choosing not to dive in, but he saw the port coming in, so decided to play it safe.
Yeah, that was that. You just go for the initiation. It's like, no. Pull out. Defiler actually finally shows itself down there in the bottom lane as well. She's actually been walking around with that invis room for a while and has finally done a bit of a death wave and claimed that creep wave back again. XTU, they're in a good position. They need to keep this push going. Like, keep that harassment going on the mid lane. Even if it doesn't come off, Andromeda able to escape off there. But now we go bottom lane. Bubbles flowing straight at the top there. There goes the Defiler ulti as well. There's no creep wave they've actually got to play with, which is the downside. Now it's finally going to come in. And, Behemoth hanging around. They want the right time. Chain lightning goes off to Defiler. Still just keeping that range in there. Even if she doesn't actually get the tower down, can still damage it. Even now going up a little bit higher with those toxic wards getting done. Future goes on the back of it now. Tunda comes through. The poison spray goes up, but there's way too much damage coming out. Bubbles in the middle of it. Voodoo Jets is trying to fall back there. The Sand Wraith will not let him escape. And this time Bubbles, port keep very, very fast. And manages to actually escape as well.
Oh, Defiler, you got to be worried that, especially going up against Behemoth. You know he has the longest range stun of the game just like that. And sure enough, the fissure stun came out, locking her just at the tail end of it. And a great follow-up from the Legion team. So again, a mind lapse from Defiler right there. Like you were talking about, though, something we really haven't referred to, at least I don't believe so. The Hellborn team, they really don't have a true carry. Yes, Defiler, considered a semi-carry, could definitely get very tanky, could be a very aggressive pusher. With that said, I mean, like we've been talking about, they know that they need to push to win this game. They really don't have another option. They need to push and keep the pressure on Ice, not allow them to sit back and get comfortable and farm, or else they're not going to be looking good, come to the mid to later game. But that was also an example right there of Defiler thinking she was a little bit more tanky than she was. I mean, she was pushed up quite a bit right there, really by herself. She didn't have Voodoo Jester and Bubbles were nearby, but they were kind of back themselves. I guess they were trying to have her bait, but she really isn't tanky enough right now. I mean, in fact, you look at her items, all she has is a Mystic Vestments in terms of being tanky. So,
yeah, you're right. It's just one of those times when it's like, can I go in there? I don't think I can. I don't think I've actually got the HP to actually live through it. And, That's kind of what you got to like about Ice's lineup. Whenever they do it, there's always enough HP on all the heroes. They make sure of it. Bubbles actually switched now from the bottom lane up towards the top lane, having a bit of a free farm. Behemoth now coming up, looks to go for the Fidger, but just basically starts the animation and baits the port key out, and he goes straight out, and no mana has to be wasted.
Yeah, Behemoth, again, that's why he's just so dangerous. You can just come in and he want to be behind the screen, and all of a sudden the Fidger stun comes out of nowhere, stuns you in place, locks you down, and even blocks you to an extent, and kind of screws you over. So, very, very scary hero to play against, no doubt. But right now, I mean, Ice, I'm feeling confident for them. I really am. Although it's been some great farm from the Hellborn team. Again, they have a 3-tower push advantage over Ice right now in terms of XTU. But Ice, in the same extent, as we keep going back to, right now, they're not worried about the push. They're more so worried about sitting back and farming, doing what they can. They know that that's what this Hellborn team is going to look to try to do. And although they have, progressed somewhat, they've also been kind of giving themselves, or giving the other team some kills, including 5 hero kills, by the way, on Sand Wraiths. So that's just another thing that hasn't been too kind to this Hellborn team. So not a hero by any means you want to give those hero kills to. So right now, just free farm in the middle lane. You see him picking up a Mighty Blade. Curious to see what he turns that into. I would think Icebrand, honestly. But we talked about last game how useful Shrunken Head would have been on that Sand Wraith. Not so much on this game. I could definitely see its usefulness as well, though. So we'll have to wait and see. But we'll see what Sand Wraith decides to go for.
Yeah. It's always a hard decision what kind of builds you go for. We've seen some very, very random builds here through the DYA as well. Like, we're up to the semi-finals, and I think we've seen, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 things. Oh! Forsaken Archer trying to go for the TP up there on the top lane, but Tundra was right there for the avalanche. Forsaken Archer does go down. It's all from the Voodoo Jester with that ward down. Does so much damage. Bubbles, can they actually trap him? Can they trap him? Sand Wraith trying to run back, trying to do anything. Tundra's back there again. Shards go out. The Ghost is killing Monkey from behind as well, but they do manage to bring down the Sand Wraith. But Monkey actually dies just down near the bottom room while all that was happening. And there's still the double tap up there on the top lane.
Sand Wraith ported in, thinking he could save his teammate. Pointed out the last second for second after already died. So at that point, it's a 3 versus 1 against him. He tried to get away, but it wasn't going to happen. So really unfortunate circumstance right there for Ice from the pickoff. That's why that portal key, though, is so effective on a hero like Tundra. He comes in, locks you down with that 3-second ultimate stun. I believe it's 3 seconds, and or 2 seconds, excuse me. Or no, it is 3 seconds. Yeah, it is 3 seconds. Anyways, so locks you down. You just can't move, obviously, and then a good follow-up as well from the Hellborn team. So just a great initiation right there from them, and a good job of taking them out. And right now, Tundra ACC pointing back to the middle lane, and in fact, picking up a Neophyte's book. So very likely going to be working on this puzzle box next. Again, another very, of course, aggressive item for him. An excellent solo ganking item as well as a push item on top of that. And talk about the push strategy from the Hellborn team. Why it's so effective for them. Blessed Orb, by the way, picked up on Defiler. Now, the question is, I would hope that would be Nolson. Honestly, Sheepstick, we have seen Sheepstick before on a Defiler. I mean, it is a powerful item, but at the same point, it's not the tanky style item. I really think in this game, if they're going to be going for push, they really want her to be beefed up and tanky. Sheepstick just really doesn't provide that.
Sheepstick still does actually provide you with that mana regen you actually want, and you need more disables. Like, you look at that lineup at the moment, they've got some good stuns, they've got some good slows, but to actually have that pure disable as well, you got to throw that on top of that one, and out of all the heroes you actually pick to do it, like, you look towards Bubbles for it, but Bubbles hasn't had the best farm, as not as much as Defiler can actually do it, and with that Sheepstick, you can escape out of tricky situations if you get caught in it, and you can do aggressive things, like at the moment, down there on the bottom lane, pushing that bottom tower out, one person comes for you, you hex them, you run away, and you keep the damage actually flying out, so it's just one of these things that you go, Defiler, like, Sheepstick, it's generally actually a good option. You're right, not a tanky option, but then you put yourself in the right place and have your team support you, and you're good.
Yeah, it is a good item. Definitely didn't mean it that way. I mean, obviously, it is. Anytime you can have a free hex like that on somebody, it is very, very good. But I mean, we'll see how it pays off, or whether or not we see her taking a lot of damage as a result of those team fights, and we'll see how the game progresses, of course, and see how that works out. But right now, Puzzle Box level 1 finish on Tundra, as we've seen, so now he has that to work with as well. He's been having a fairly good farm, setting up some nice ganks, already 2 hero kills as well as 2 assists in this game. Just pushing in the middle lane a little bit. The Legion team may be looking to set up a defense here as well, but again, the push is keeping on coming from the Hellborn team. You see the bottom tower is actually very low, 190 life, just out of deny range itself. Initiation in the middle lane, Tundra gets locked down, but he's falling back now. So off at deep at the mojo on him. Sand Wraith will he port in is the question. A Thunderbolt ultimate also going off. Sand Wraith will not port in. it looks like Tundra's going to survive. In the meantime, though, Voodoo Jester getting locked down. Andromeda already being taken out, actually. Voodoo Jester trying to run away. Center with ported up here. Jukes him a little bit, but that fidget stun comes out. Bubbles coming in. That's going to be enough for the block. It is, but they're also blocked. Voodoo Jester's going to bust it. Bubbles! The Forsaken after a crippling volley, though, stunning and finally getting the kill. But Bubbles came in and saved the day. He's going to get it, and he kills himself. It doesn't look like it. Sandwich dropping low, but they're chasing Bubbles right here. The take covers Hughes. He cannot use the portal key shell in 2 seconds. Cannot use it in time. Lockdown right there. Bubbles goes down, and Defiler was not there for all of that fight, unfortunately. That was huge, of course. And we do see Tundra again. He fell back early on, was not really able to come back into it either. So a good job by the Legion team of really forcing a scatter. That is another thing that fissure stun does. It really kind of splits your team up when you don't want it to happen, and that was just the case right there.
Yeah, you mentioned it, you brushed across it just early before. Defiler missing from that battle. Tier 2 tower is what she was claiming while all that was happening. So she did lose a couple of teammates, but once again, they're claiming this map position back. At the moment, it's like worthy sacrifice, lane position for the rest of it. That's what we want, and that's what she's actually getting as well. So more farm, all going to come towards her as well. And I really actually think, even though it's 13-5 right now, and Ice are looking very, very strong, their carriers are getting farmed up. They haven't completed all their items just yet, but I think there's a very, very good possibility that we might actually even be seeing this go to a third, just for the fact that the pushing is just so strong. Anything you're down at the moment, you can make it back as long as you control the map.
It is, but at the same time, again, we talked about this earlier on, the Legion team expected a push to happen. Whenever you're going up against a hero like Defiler, you expect that to happen. And yes, they are up 3-0.
Oh, Defiler's gone! Defiler is so gone on the top. Trying to TP out. Is not... No, I thought she might for a second. Is not going to get it. While that was happening, there was a counter gank actually happening in the middle. So losing one from either side, but Defiler with that Behemoth Fissure just pulling it straight back there. But yeah, at least they got some sort of revenge from it.
Uh-oh, Sandra is going to port right here with the ultimate. Is he going to go in? Where is he going to port it? He ports right up here, chasing down Voodoo Jester now. Tundra and Andromeda over behind him, blocking him down. Can they actually turn this around? It doesn't look like Andromeda going to try to port out. The chase is still on Voodoo Jester. Here comes Tundra porting in front. Maybe turn this what a rune right there. Talk about a perfect rune situation. Voodoo Jester picks up the haste rune, and he will be gone. On top of that, a good slow as well. And they're locking down Samuth a little bit. Bubbles needs to be careful himself now. He's actually trying to run away, and he looks like he should be fine. Wow, though. But Voodoo Jester, yeah, he's thinking the Han Gods right now.
Could you ask for something better? A haste rune to escape from that? I don't think you could. He's now literally coming back to the well. Made it very, very fast there to actually heal himself up with that haste rune, giving him that bit of extra speed. But he has got to be happy. He has got to be very, very happy. You're noticing all the players literally from the Hellborn side took a lot of damage from that too. So they've got to charge themselves back up again. Get yourself back into the mix, because you can't let those lanes go untouched for the moment, or else you will see them lose that map control. They've worked so hard to push these towers, keep the creep waves on the other side of the river. Look at Tundra, pour straight over. Behemoth's caught out, and in comes Voodoo Jester, throws down the ulti as well, making sure they can actually bring down that massive behemoth of a man. And they do claim it 15-7, and a very, very quick gank.
Yeah, and it was, and that's what these portal keys allow you to do. Again, Bubbles also picking up his portal key. He's had it for a little bit now, but that portal key just allows you to come out of nowhere and just set up a quick kill like we saw right there on Behemoth. So, as expected, XTU doing what they should be doing, of course, with with the portal keys that they have. Defiler in the meantime pushing the top lane a little bit. Ooh, look at this. Defiler to go in Ice Brand. Interesting there. So to go with the Blessed Aura, but you got to figure, obviously, going for a Frostwolf Skull. Never really seen that. Of course, again, Defiler being a different hero, we don't really see it all too often in the U.S. and European scene. It's more so popular over here. We talked about that. You know, with that said, you expect some maybe different items as well, and going to Frostwolf Skull. So that, I like that. I mean, that kind of works as a little bit of damage, but it's also a little bit of tankiness, a little bit of survivability there. So a good mix right there, and a great item. Very expensive though. Yeah,
expensive, but she's got the farm to actually go with it. So why not? Yeah. You got so much money, may as well spend it. But it's definitely one of those things, and this is what I love about LAN events too. You see things like this which you wouldn't have actually thought to actually use, and this is the kind of stuff that changes the trends in the Hon community. And Papa Dre just keeps looking at me weirdly. But these guys, so distracting. But Defiler is able to push out that top lane. You see a bit of a change, but she's also got a lot of room to move as well, where she actually wants to go from here. And I see a bit of a Behemoth feature going off in the middle there. I think he thought he could actually get a little bit lucky there, but I think that's a very, very quick port out by Tundra.
Yeah, Tundra is now walking away. By the way, he's upgraded his puzzle box to level 2, so one away, of course, from maxing it out.
It's so strong when it's level 3 as well.
Oh, yeah, it is.
So strong.
Yeah, on top of the damage, it also obviously provides a sight for them to use. in terms of counter warding and stuff especially, so it's a very, very effective tool, of course. Take advantage of a level 3 puzzle box. Right now, Sandwraith, though, free farm in the bottom lane. Speaking of Ice Brand, he too went the Ice Brand route. We saw Shrunken Head was being worked on and still being worked on, in fact, on Forsaken Archer. So he's going to be going that style for himself. Bubbles, again, we already talked about him. He's actually picked up a Blessed Orb himself as well. Defiler, already mentioned him, working on that Frosted Skull, now pushing this top lane a little bit. So they did take out the bottom secondary tower recently, but the secondary, middle, and top tower have been surviving a little bit, but we're only 27.5 minutes into the game.
The bottom lane is pushing itself.
Yeah.
It's so just gone all the way through while the pressure's in the other lanes by the heroes. This is great. This is great pressure, and look, it's going to force them. It's going to force them to split.
Somebody has to at least go down there. It looks like Sandwraith is going to take advantage of that free farm. So in an extent, it's kind of a double edge. It's like, yes, you're getting the push, but at the same time, it's a big push for one hero to just clean up like he's going to do right here. But it does split them up, and this is where the Hellborn team, if they want to go in, they want to look to go down. But with that said, it is Sandwraith, so he can just pour it in anyway. So
that's true.
It's kind of a lost cause right there, unfortunately.
It's obvious choice to actually go into those lanes. But as we saw the power from Sandwraith in our last game, able to go straight up towards the Tier 1, Tier 2 towers of the Hellborn side, was able to push that out. And if you need to come back, it's an ulti away. It's just literally that much, and you will come back into the action because you'll come straight back to an opposing hero, and it's easy. It's very, very easy to get yourself back into the action. I'm really worried the fact that the Defiler now completes that Frostwall, that skull up there on the top. Sandwraith ulti going off. Where's he actually having it go? Is it going for the bottom? Where's he going to head off to?
Or top to Defiler.
He wants Defiler.
Chase him.
Chase him down. There's a tower. There's a tower. There. That was wishful thinking. Very, very wishful thinking. Slither was in support, but you're not going to get it. And the bottom lane, he actually left that. I think that was actually the main reason he popped it, because he realized it in the middle of a gank. Got to get it somewhere else. Defiler's not going to kill me, so I'll be fine. But that bottom lane really being pushed out, and the economy is really going to be hurting now of the Legion side of Ice, because they're just literally losing money every single time they can't move into their own neutrals.
Yeah, they definitely are, and this is what you expect with a push-stall strategy. I mean, the Hellborn team, they're keeping the Legion team guessing. They're keeping them on their toes. Which lane should we defend? Defiler keeps constantly coming back to this bottom lane, pushing it in. We just saw them. In the meantime, the bottom lane was being pushed in pretty much by the rest of our opponents. We saw a port being used, and they were able to push in a little bit more. So this is a good game being played right here by the Hellborn team. Again, that Frosted Skull has been finished on Defiler. Now, what she goes for next, and the farm just continues to happen. So, very good situation that the Hellborn team is in that sense. But you do look at the hero kills, and you always have to keep in mind, again, they're going up against the Sandwraith, which we talked about last game quite a bit. But right now, speaking of Sandwraith, he's actually back in this bottom lane. Of course, the ultimate is still on cooldown. So this is where the Hellborn team, actually, they can take advantage of that and try to maybe make a push happen up here. And
so they might be too. They just took it out. One Fissure goes off to Fire. Ulti's actually popped on the top. So they want this tower at the moment. Bubbles is hitting it from range. We've got Slither trying to throw down those toxic walls, trying to slow them down. Glimpse even firing off here. But Defiler ulti, you can't stop it from that range. She can come in there, and by staying there, even when she's stunned, she's doing enough damage. Slither ulti pops off. Great swat from Andromeda. Gets this carry out of trouble. They get the tower, fall back. They claim what they wanted to, and what a surgical attack.
Yeah, I was going to say initially that with Defiler, I don't know if it's worth it to necessarily stay in there and try to get the tower, because she definitely could have got locked down, but they knew that they had the Andromeda swap ready to go.
Yeah.
And they were there. Of course, they used it in the end, and in the end, everyone ended up surviving. So it worked out perfectly for them. They got the tower kill, everyone survived, and that's exactly what they wanted. So now they just have this one last middle secondary tower to worry about. Now once they get that done, that's where the true pressure, of course, starts. And yeah, a lot of pings going out, as you can see on the map. So
Courier. Is he going to live? Is he going to live? Is he going to completely give away Sandwraith's position? He completely gave away Sandwraith's position. He's stunned, he's damaged, and in comes Behemoth! What an ulti! Fissure! Bubbles is stuffed, trying to run himself back here. Jester comes up, tries to go for the bounce. It's not going to do anything, but great surf shell off there. And Bubbles should get himself out there with the Jester and Defiler all on the retreat. The silence from the Defiler was actually what really saved them at the end of that one. Off goes the stun. It's got Jester. Oh, he stopped. He stopped. Yeah, Fissure stun did that for him, but in that last fight, though, the puzzle box minions from Tundra actually ended up killing Sandwraith right there after they died. So despite a great save attempt right there from Behemoth, got the 2 kills, just was not able to save Sandwraith, unfortunately. But a good attempt. Meanwhile, up here, Slither gets taken out as Bubbles and Defiler actually come back in. So Defiler kind of showing her power and catching the Legion team as they were trying to fall back after that team fight. So good job. And now look at this. Defiler just pushing the bottom lane once again. Go Bubbles!
Level 16. Bubbles is chasing Behemoth. Bubbles! Auto attack. Smackdown attack. One more. Yes, just barely enough for right there, and the smackdown goes out for Bubbles. And like I suggested, Defada is pushing the bottom lane, now level 16, so has her level 3 ultimate.
Yeah, that she does. That's going to do even more damage. The cooldown, I think, is also nice. Actually, yeah, it's slightly reduced, I think, that cooldown, well, especially for the power of it. But it's just so powerful now when she's going to hit herself through. But, I was so worried. I was so worried for the Malaysians in the back. And I think for the first time, like, Malaysia's actually feeling back in control a little bit here. They lost on that bottom. That Behemoth ulti was just so freaking good. And then just came in and took the most of it.
Yeah.
And it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. But they lost a couple of heroes where they got it back straight away. Like a quick gank there from the Bubbles and the Defiler, getting right on top of it. They didn't want to lose anything. And now they have all the creep waves over the other side of the river. And they have beautiful map control. And the map is literally theirs, as well as the Kongor pit, because that's exactly what they just claimed. And now the Token of Life is on the field. And
Defiler.
That's even more
Defiler.
A double Defiler push is
that's
what...
so dangerous. Yeah, exactly. Because now she can obviously needs to worry still, but she can play very aggressive, pushing those towers. And the Legion team knows that even if they kill her, all they're doing is giving her another life bar, another mana bar, while she did a lot of damage in the meantime. So it makes it very difficult for the Legion team to have to deal with something like that. We just see Behemoth setting up a defense up here. Of course, he has that portal key as we saw last time. Used it last time to kind of save them a little bit, but Defiler in the meantime pushing the middle lane up. And again, as I was talking about, lockdown time. No! Stop right there, gets the finish. Well, they have the follow up though. Here gets the Thunderbringer nuking, but not going to be nearly enough. And Defiler falls back just fine. Of course, he gets the mojo on him. Now spamming that wave of death right there. Forsaken Archer also showing herself, finishing her Shrunken Head, by the way. He's had that for a little bit now. So a little bit of back and forth there. Again, the Hellborn team, they want to keep the pressure up, and they're trying their best right now to try to do what they can here in the middle lane.
Yeah, Defiler's ulti's still up too. You know you can't push in with it. Defiler ulti goes off. They know they're in trouble. They go for the... Forsaken Archer wanted. The Tundra's in from the side. Thunderbringer. He's going to be the first one to go down. This one, Nomi launches the first. Tundra goes down the side. Everything's going off. Behemoth still. Token of Flight's going off. Defiler's actually died during the middle of this one, but she will be back. Bubble's still falling back, but Defiler can still push it off. Already used the ulti, so it is on cooldown. The Token of Life does not bring that one back again. Now TPing out. Sandwraith with no stuns or disables, but Behemoth!
Oh, Defiler. Oh, man, that's why that was so dangerous. I was worried about the fidget stun, but we saw right there the mini stun from Thunderbringer. By the way, Thunderbringer, that was unbelievable in that fight right there. The fidget stun from Behemoth blocked the team off from killing Thunderbringer, and in the end, he ended up coming back and eventually getting the kill on Defiler as a result. That worked so perfect for the Legion team, and as a result, of course, got the genocide right there. Now 23-12 hero kill advantage, 34.5 minutes in the game. A team fight like that, that's got to be a ego booster or booster right there for the Legion team, and it hurts the Legion or the Hellborn team, no doubt, like you said. And this Sandwraith, he's had his prospering for a while. You got to figure he's going to have his next big item, especially after a fight like that.
Yeah, that's just one of those times you just go, I wish that didn't happen. I really wish that didn't happen. There goes the top tower as well. So the tier 1 tower has actually gone down on the top as well. So this could be the time when everything goes back. It looks like a kill goes up on there on the top lane. What the hell?
Yeah. Behemoth just ultied in top of Andromeda right there. Good creep wave. So used a fairly decent cooldown right there to get a kill on Andromeda. But hey, got the kill on Andromeda. Now just walks away. So I knew he was going to get it. So why not?
Mic test 1, 2.
Yeah, that he did. As mic test going. Yeah, that's
great. There's mic test centrally now.
Mic check, Hadouken style. That's what it's all about. So yeah, let's talk about the game from here. Now,
Black Spike.
That's not cool.
That's not good.
That's not cool. So we'll just pause the game. That's actually a very good time to actually have a bit of a chat. Let's look at the game now. We're sitting 35 minutes into this game. The last game actually went for 65 seconds.
Sure.
Yeah, that would be fast.
That would be really fast.
65 minutes. Went for a long time. I stayed in front of the kill count the entire time, but it's the same sort of thing as we're seeing now. XTU, they're not really losing control here. The voters actually failed for the pause. So we're all good to keep on going by the looks of it. But just at this point, do you think we're seeing like it's a replay of the last match? Do you just think that you're just going, you know what?
I don't. Yeah. I don't, because, the Hellborn team, they don't really have that carry to compete with Forsaken Archer, unlike last game where we saw, I believe it was Sandwraith, excuse me. Unlike last game where Ice, I believe they had Forsaken Archer and Dr. Repulsor. if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
I think that was
correct.
it. Yeah. So, they had some very awesome late game heroes. They do have Defila, and she has been doing a very good job, of course. She's got the Foster Skull that we've been talking about, actually working on a shrunken head, it looks like. But it doesn't feel like it's the same game, to be honest. It really feels like they truly have the momentum. Because with that said, we talked about it in the very beginning, too. It was a little bit questionable. You don't usually see another hard carry such as a Forsaken Archer with someone like a Sandwraith. But honestly, it's working out for them because Forsaken Archer's farm, although hurt a little bit, it's actually still very, very well. She has her Shrunken Head and now her Firebrand pickup. Going to be doing her Geometer's Bane shortly. Speaking of Geometer's Bane, by the way, we did see it on Sandwraith, and he was using it to harass Defiler just not 30 seconds ago. So, Legion team, I really think they should be feeling a lot better than the Sandwraith game last game that the Sandwraith team was. But at the same token, this Hellborn team, they got some awesome team fight presence. They really do. Behemoth will need to be on top of making sure he can land some nice ultimates and get in there with those fissure stuns. But you're looking at a Defiler ultimate, a Bubbles ultimate, and even Tundra in there with his ultimate and does some spread. There's a good amount. So all I know is that we haven't really had that true epic team fight yet, but it's definitely something in the making.
Yeah, it definitely is. But I really think that if XTU actually want to get on top of this one, they need to actually pick off one before they fight. If they don't, at the moment, I still think if you go head to head, 5-5, XTU will still come out on the worst side of things because everything's just working so right at the moment. The levels are a little bit higher, the irons are a little bit higher. We've got the Sandwraith ulti actually going off at the moment. Won't have a bit of a look around, and that'll be why got the Jester and actually going to come through. Claim a double. Behemoth comes through as well. Tundra's in trouble. Bubbles in trouble. They're both in trouble. The bound eye gets dropped. And the only person to live is Defiler, who's now coming down to try and push it out. Dangerous times. The Wraith is now on the trail. Can they? It wasn't enough range on the poison, but they will throw up a toxic ward. But wow, 4 heroes down. Oh. Was that the one little thing that won them the game?
Something dropped there. I believe the courier was something dropped there was on the ground.
It was the eye, the bound eye.
Okay, so the bound eye. Okay, so that got destroyed, but that started with Sandwraith. He didn't even, he poured it in, but he popped this Geometer's Bane immediately. He took out Voodoo Jester and Andromeda like nothing. He just tore through them like they were freaking hot butter, and they just had no chance. So right away, it was already a 5-3 advantage. The Hellborn team thought they had a chance to actually pick off Sandwraith because they thought he overextended, but nope. Here comes Behemoth out of nowhere with his ultimate Fissure Stun combination, and sure enough, the Legion team just really cleaned up right there. So, that's why I feel that this Hellborn team, I really don't, as much as I liked in the first game and liked in this game, of course, but I don't think that they have much of a chance after a fight like that, especially. This Sandwraith is really showing his power, how he can just use his ultimate, and pretty much, he can kill 2 heroes if he wants, as long as if Voodoo Jester and Andromeda happen to be a little bit away from their partners, they're going to be going down.
Yeah, it is true, but we've seen this team before. They can easily come back, and they got the pushing power to do so as well. So all it's going to take is one fight, one push, one Rax. That's what wins games like these. Like Defiler now coming towards middle, pops the ulti a little bit early, so they really want this tier 2 tower. So didn't want to save it up. The Glyph now firing up. It's going to waste a little bit more time on that Defiler ulti. Now, and we're going to go. We have the Coral down the ground. Bubbles is flying straight over the top. Wants to kill that creep wave. There goes that first tower. They've bought themselves a little bit of time. Fisher goes off, just slowing that Defiler down. Now with a shackle, holding him in place. Can they actually do it? Pulling themselves back. Now the Slither ulti goes off as well. They're all trying to stay in the middle of it. Great swap for Andromeda. Tries to keep Defiler alive, and that ulti doing damage. Andromeda is also going to escape here. Defiler TPing out. The ulti keeps her alive on the way out. And what amazing play to actually get themselves out. They claim one, they lose one, and still tier 2 tower goes down. But great play by Andromeda to save the carry like that.
Jeez, that was perfect timing for Defiler's ultimate. Obviously, when it finishes, it goes back to her and heals her up, and it just so happened that was at exactly the right time right there. So well played and a good getaway. And like you said, they got the tower, and that's what they're going for. That's their game strategy. It's been it throughout the whole game. So they get the tower, get out, get the tower, get out, and eventually they're going to try to apply enough pressure to hopefully come through and win this game. But again, they're dealing with a pretty farm Sandwraith, and although the gold is fairly similar, of course. It's where that experience is really shining for the Legion team, and obviously you can tell that with the levels on this Legion team. Starting with the level 20 Sandwraith, you got level 19, 16, 15. Where on the Hellborn team, you look at a 10, 12 on the bottom, and even Tundra still level 14, unfortunately. That's kind of behind in that sense. So many things falling behind for this Hellborn team. Their big positive, of course, remains to be this Defiler, who's had that Shrunken Head. We saw him use the last fight and actually picking up a plate mill now as well. We constantly saying, apparently there's an issue, and then there's not an issue. An issue, then an issue. So
it's like, you gonna be all right there? You gonna be all right, man? Need a hug? No, good. It's good. That was to my teammate. It was meant to actually be. Now the push going to come through from the middle here. Defiled's ulti. As I said, it's such a low cooldown. Now they can push this tower, and this could be the saving grace. Defiled ulti popping off. They have got the fissure and holding it back there. They're trying to attack this tower. She's the one taking the most of it right now, but there is support. Is there support? Now the bubbles comes flying over the top. Doesn't actually jump on the back of that shell, hitting that tower down to half HP now. Half HP. Defile is still living up through this one at the moment, and just doesn't even need to go in. Sits on the bottom. The ulti does the rest of it, but they didn't want to push it. Forsaken Archer!
Forsaken Archer comes in. There's the Behemoth ultimate as well. Right on top. 1 and 2 right there for the Legion team. Defile's going to try to run. Activates the Struggle Head. Try to pour it out.
Come on,
no, she's not going to get stunned just before.
Run.
And Defile is just going to try to run now. Can she actually get out of here? I do not think so. Behemoth comes in. There goes the kill on Defiler. And Voodoo Jester, what can he do? That's probably the game right there. What a comeback fight.
That was a behemoth of a butt sitting right in front of her. She tried to run herself out of that one.
Honestly, I really think XTU should have at the very least waited for Congo to resurrect and at the very least try to get a token of life before making a push like that. They chose to make the push instead, and well, Legion team makes them pay. Just great coordination right there, and that was that epic team fight we were talking about. A great Behemoth ultimate. And on top of that, Defiler used her ultimate for the tower push. Yeah. So when there's a huge team fight like that, if she doesn't have her ultimate, she's not doing too much.
There go those illusions again. We've seen how damaging they are. 1 Bane, 2 Banes actually hitting on that tower, and it's gone. It's gone. Bouncing Sun's going to go. The illusions will take most of it. Melee Barracks, the first target. They do have 3 heroes back up again. We have Bubbles back up again. Defile is still 25 seconds away from actually getting up. They've wiped out the quick wave. There goes the Aurora, just trying to drop the arm for a little bit. Bubbles thinking about goes in. He doesn't go, but now Tundra ports himself in, thinking about going. Behemoth Fissure just stops Bubbles in his tracks, and I don't know if they can claim anyone here. Sandwraith just putting the desert straight up the middle there. Not going to get anything. Bar Forsaken Archer actually managing to catch him out there. Andromeda swats him down, and they do at least claim one revenge kill, but it did cost them a melee.
Yeah, I mean, that is great that they got the Forsaken Archer kill, obviously. It's definitely a hero kill, something a hero like that, very useful. But at the same time, they did lose the middle. But again, I still go back to, I think Congo would be huge for their XTU. I mean, so as I said, this game is probably over to push like that, but maybe not. I mean, they did lose the middle, obviously, in the melee racks, but they do got that push potential, and you never know what can happen, so we'll have to wait and see if XTU can truly recover from this. Job, by the way, on Thunderbringer, once again going for a fairly tanky build. We did see the Void Talisman on him once again, actually running into a Shiver right there, going to take it out, but look at that. Conquer goes down, and Defiler now has that token of life. Sandwraith is going to put in. Yes, he is, actually. Sandwraith goes on top of Voodoo Jester in there, and it will Defiler now use her ultimate as a question. Sandwraith is chasing Defiler because she has to use the ultimate right here to get something going. She's being chased, so she can waste a token of life right here. She is, and the team support does not come. I don't know what they're thinking right there, but now they're going to probably kill. No, Defiler should be able to get out there, activating the Shrunken Head right there, but they're so scattered right now. Behemoth jumps right on top of Bubbles, locks him down, gets a kill on him. Tundra, in the meantime, just trying to run away at this point, and XTU just seems very scattered. What was such a positive sign for them right there turned into just what were they thinking type deal, and after that, now I truly have to say that this game is more than likely over.
They got split. Their supports got separate, and Andromeda managed to actually catch out. I had to watch her until she actually left the game, but left back towards the base. But can we do it backdoor towers? You can actually backdoor the. But you can't actually go into the base. Is the only thing.
Outside towers, yes you can. Not the
yes,
base.
You can. Yes, you can get the outsides, but you can't actually enter the base without a creep. You need to actually just have one creep with you, and then you can. And just the rules.
Yeah. It's different from tournament tournament, so obviously they just wanted to make sure of that, but we saw them taking out that bottom tower right there, so the first one. So again, the tower push clearly has been in favor of XTU throughout this whole game, but that's just one aspect of the game, of course, and that's showing right here. The Sandwraith, very powerful. And honestly, more so, Ice is they're looking really impressive this game. Their coordination, their teamwork, it really is on the ball. Behemoth especially, Tagosu has been having a fantastic game. He is really on the ball, initiating at perfect times. He's seen like great fissure stunts and been doing a lot. On top of that, though, again, going back to last fight, not too sure what XTU was planning to make happen there. You got to be able to react. It kind of seemed like they got the token alive, and they're like, okay, now we can make something happen, but first let's get some regen. you can't do that if you're being chased like that. You need to say that Defy, there's absolutely nothing. You just don't let her die like that. You have to save her. You have to do something.
Oh, we're going to save her again. Save her again. She's trying to pull back. Sandra ulti goes off. Really keep on her. We do have Voodoo Jester. He's caught in the mix of it as well. Sandra is still sitting on top. Andromeda has to fall back. Defiler ulti. He's going to try and TP out. Not enough. Defiler goes down again. They can hunt down Andromeda. They find to try and TP out. There is no escape for her that time. 3 heroes down. Bubbles and Tundra. And there's GG. GG goes out. Eyes it through the grand final. Grand final of Digital Youth Awards. They're going to be playing for $10,000.
A couple days ago, I heard ICE was only coming with 4 players. I was like, that's unfortunate because they really are a great team. It would be nice to see them, but I didn't think we're going to see anything of them. They get the ringer from Singapore, and yes, he was a great ringer, but honestly, as a team, they really looked really good. They're all deserving to get to this final, so they guarantee themselves at least $4,000 now. With that said, on top of that, XTU, a great performance by them as well.
Definitely.
Very impressive team. They went 3-0 in bracket play in their brackets on the group stage. But now, of course, going to... Actually, the game hasn't officially finished yet, so we're still have to be in here, I guess. But
they're going to push the bottom. They'll push the bottom. They'll take out the tower and then go straight there. They're actually enjoying it. The shout out to the fans there for Milan. It is a beautiful, beautiful game, though. Let's have a look at the cream stats, because we actually talk about this now. The game is literally over. You jump yourself over towards, like, Lady. Look at Lady. 284 for 16. Yeah. That Defiler was so strong. They did the same thing again. Let's have this massive, massive power carry, push the towers down. But again, Ice, the timing. They waved that Defiler ult when they pushed up the mid. The second that was gone, it's like, yes, we don't have to fight in the middle of that one. Jump yourself in. Let's kill it. Let's take it. Let's go Gaga. And they did that. And they literally won that from that point as well.
Yeah, it is. You know, Defiler, you do have to kind of question the whole Frostwell scope pickup initially as well. Although it does provide tankiness, you know, the auto attack, I don't know. It didn't seem like she was able to use it really at all in terms of, especially in those team fights against the heroes. She is a hero that just really relies a lot on the AoE damage, like we saw several times throughout this game, both in pushing and in those team fights. And that's why you tend to see a very tanky style build on her. You know, so maybe something like, you know, Shaman's Edge's Barrier Auto, Helmet Black Legion, or even something else. But you know, to each his own, and that's what they chose to go with, and it just happened not to work out. But in the end, I'm pretty sure it's official, just not technically official,
it's not official until the concede is actually done.
But whatever everyone says, all GGs. I mean, you pretty much that's pretty much the concede right there. But
yeah, we haven't had anyone actually disconnect yet. So technically, this game,
they're still playing. You're playing for stats.
Oh, Voodoo Jester's going to get himself caught out here with Andromeda getting done. Voodoo Jester's about to actually TP himself out. Somehow managed to survive that. They can push this bottom lane. It's like Defiler's trying to fall back here, and Sandra is right on top. Even if it's just an illusion, still enough to actually do it. And push him back. Nothing's really going to stop it. There goes Bubbles. He manages to get himself out of trouble for a bit until Sandray says basically no tree can stop me. Bubbles ulti holds him in place, but they don't really care. They're fighting on the creep wave. They can push themselves through, and they'll continue to actually kill this Hellborn side until they get through and take the racks.
Yeah, so again, like I said, this is just the garbage time right here. Who's gonna just playing for stats?
Defiler ulti can actually make the most of it. Forsaken Archer is actually pretty damn low. But look at in it comes like null, Frost, Defiler, dead, bloodbath, double tap, goes out. He is just literally a glowing behemoth right now. Just having a great old time. The melee barracks should go down. 3 heroes are down with Tundra and Andromeda, the only 2 heroes left alive. There goes the melee. Now we're onto the range. They can push themselves through. That's actually the only second racks to go down. It feels like more. That was the second one to actually take the fall, and now they can actually finish this, go to the tier 4s, and actually take out that sacrificial shrine. Yeah.
So again, going back to what I was saying earlier, XDU, a very impressive team. I mean, they definitely showed us quite a bit, and if anything, you know, they show that the Southeast Asian section is they really are a place to reckon with when it comes to Heroes of New Earth and competitive gaming. Again, going into this, we really are unsure of what to expect, but no doubt both them and even Impunity, again, we're still waiting to find out the results of that Game 3 and how that went. But it's awesome to see now that we know that Southeast Asia, they have several teams over here that can indeed compete with the top tier of both the U.S. and the European section, and this is just really good news overall for the Heroes of New Earth competitive scene.
Yeah, it definitely is. Like, this is fantastic competition. Like, everything that's happened through the DYA, all props have to go to the organisers for this one. These teams, they've been showing the absolute time of their life throughout this competition, and they're now giving everyone it all back through these matches. Their gameplay is the reward for everything that's been put in there. Yeah. And they're going to try and push in this top lane. The mid's being pushed, the bottom's being pushed. They're trying to defend it. But seriously, Digital Youth Awards is an amazing event. I think a lot of people are going to have to be looking towards this one next time the Digital Youth Awards actually happens as well.
Oh, yeah.
It was an awesome event. The teams had a great time. And as far as opportunities for players go, like to come into Singapore, have your expenses paid, and actually, literally, enjoy the competition for the competition.
Yeah.
That's the great thing.
That is a great thing. Like we keep talking about. Even the teams that got knocked out of the event yesterday.
Yeah. They're still here. They're still here. They're still watching.
You know, it sucks that we lost, but at the same time,
there's the GG.
There's the official concede. So ICE is victorious over XTU here. They take the series 2-0, but you know, you can definitely argue that was a lot closer than 2-0.
Yeah, it definitely was.
It easily could have gone to 3 games. I mean, that was just such a back and forth series. It really was. But in the end, ICE just a little bit too much, and they will move on to the finals. Who they will be playing, we don't have confirmation exactly just yet.
We'll find out for you soon.
We will see.
I can tell you right now.
Who is it? EG1. Okay, so
all right.
Evil Geniuses did end up defeating
America.
That must have been a long game, though. It seemed like they were playing for quite a bit. So, I mean, again, you talk about Southeast Asia. Impunity gave EG a run for the money here in the semifinals. But like you said, though, in the end, it is going to be U.S. versus U.S., ICE versus EG to compete for the $10,000 first place prize.
It's awesome to see right now. We've actually got ICE coming over, shaking the hands here of XTU. It's great. Like these guys, they fight hard against each other. They play to win, but at the end of the day, they're all good friends as well. It's a great atmosphere here, and we're looking forward to the grand final. We'll be back here later tonight to actually shoutcast that one. I think it's going to be in like maybe 6-8 hours time, something like that. We'll post it up online for everyone out there. So do stick with us. We will be back for that. Frankie?
We will.
It's going to be good?
Yes, it is.
It's going to be good?
So 8 p.m. tonight, local time. So again, do the math. I'll get that posted as soon as possible when exactly it is. But yeah, so anyways, be sure to check out our Facebook at Oncast, oncast.com. And of course, Heroes of New Earth in general. Great game. Thanks for them organizing this tournament, and DYA especially as well. So, but again, the grand finale is coming up. EG versus ICE, US versus US. Oh, man. I'm looking forward to it so much. They did play in the group stages. EG won, but it was very, very close.
Yeah,
and what we've been seeing from ICE here, it's
going to be an amazing match.
It really will be a great series.
But we're going to have a break.
Yes,
we'll be back here later today, and it should be amazing.
It definitely will be. So take it easy.
Adios.
We'll maybe get a player interview coming up, so stay tuned for that, but we're done for now.